Okay, quick video for myself, Harvey Goldman. No cuts, no edits, no filters, and no hair. So for today's video, it's a very quick one from an anonymous industrial estate somewhere in Devon on an absolutely minging hot day. It's about 28 degrees here. I want to talk about the future of work in the post-AI world. So let's make no mistake about it. AI isn't coming. It's already landed. It's already here. It's been here in its commercial capacity for about 2 years. Realistically, it's been here a lot longer. And it's changing your job, whether you like it or not. So stick around. I'm going to show you how to stay relevant and also, importantly, how to stay employed. Everything from customer service jobs to creative industries. AI is reshaping the UK's job market at frightening speeds, and there's no sign of it slowing down. So we need to know what's next. We need to know what we can expect and also how to survive it. So basically, you're going to walk away from this video knowing which jobs are under threat, where new opportunities may be emerging, and it's obviously good to get in those as fast as possible. But also, if you can't be bothered with that, you want to know how to future-proof your existing and current career. So let's get into it. So at first, you've got the jobs that are at risk. So it's the admin jobs, retail industry, transport and logistics, certain sides of that where it's not niche. Customer service, obviously AI chatbots are taking a lot of those positions where it's not in store. And also most of the creative or design type roles. Also professional service industries, the legal industry is, believe it or not, suffering at the hands of AI, and other perhaps less popular professional roles, things like architecture, that type of thing. So these industries, there are jobs that are being lost. There are people that are being placed. There are roles that are being streamlined by AI, but it's not doom and gloom. In all of these jobs, if you can learn to harness AI, or you can use it to make you more efficient within your role, you can use it to make your output more, you can get there faster, then that's a good thing. Now, it does mean that your employer is likely to just give you more work because now you found a shortcut, you're using a cheat code. They're not going to let you get away with that, are they? So you'll probably find that as you adopt AI and it makes your working processes faster, that your KPIs or whatever you work to, your criteria that dictate how well you're working within the role that you've got, they are probably going to go up. It's a necessary evil. But it does mean that if you can utilize AI within your role, your role is probably safe in comparison to somebody doing the same job that isn't using AI. So it's important to skill yourself up. There will be new opportunities, though. It's not all doom and gloom. And I don't want anybody to think that the world's going to end, or that we're all going to be enslaved by AI masters in the next year or so. There will be new opportunities that come up. Basically, growth in AI jobs, prompt engineering, AI maintenance, things like ethical oversight, where businesses over time become heavily reliant on AI. There will need to be human intervention for the time being, because AI is not perfect. It makes mistakes. It hallucinates. It's very much dependent on what you put in, and it kind of dictates to a degree what you get back out. So that needs to be micromanaged by a person for the time being. Industries that are perhaps going to be able to benefit from this as well might be skilled trades, highly skilled trades. I mentioned things like architecture. Obviously, the process of designing, computing measurements and using CAD and all the rest of it, AI can massively shave time off the process, and this is going to mean that people in that profession can get their work out quicker. It also means they can probably take on more work because their diaries will be more free. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Things like hands-on care work, an example is what my partner does as a care worker. AI is never going to be able to really replace a human in that role. Now, robots might one day, and obviously robots might use AI, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. it's probably a bit further off. And there is, of course, again, it's going to need to be micromanaged by a human in that type of industry where you're dealing with life. God forbid an AI should write a prescription dosage or something like that for a patient and get it wrong. The results could be an absolute catastrophe. So AI does have its limitations. And speaking of which, you've got limitations with emotional intelligence. It still feels a bit disconnected when it answers. You've got the lack of creative nuance, which you can only get from a human. And this is evident when you see AI write poetry or you hear it having composed music. It's not got the same nuance and the same level of creativity, perhaps, as a human. Now, it can certainly lay the foundation, but you still need a human to kind of paint the bigger picture for now. Things like skilled manual work, I think, still will remain for a while human-driven. Things like the trades, I don't see there being any situation under which AI is going to steal a job from a plumber or an electrician. And I think this is going to actually cause a bigger uptake now in people that otherwise might do what I do, white collar work, like kind of office-based roles. It's actually going to cause a lot of people to reconsider where their loyalties lie in terms of their working profession. And I think we are going to see a bit of an exodus of people out of white collar and perhaps into blue collar trade roles where they know they've got job security for at least another 5-10 years and that AI isn't kind of knocking at the door. There is, to go along with all of this, you've got education lag, and this is largely a problem for the government, but also a little bit for the individual. I don't think the government is going to save us here. I think it's up to ourselves to level ourselves up, to get ourselves into programs and systems and learning facilities that teach us the wider benefits of AI. And I'm not just on about using ChatGPT to work out your spend over the month and stuff like that. That's crap. Anybody can do that. But look, real processes, real things that AI can be used for in a role, like data analysis, like data scraping, reporting, stuff like that. And I think the education lag, though, is going to be a massive detriment to all of this. The UK's training and apprenticeship systems are already pretty slow to adapt to new things. And I dare say, AI's been out for about 2 years. I've not seen evidence of any apprenticeship or training roles or programs that have come up in the last 2 years. And I've been looking. Not anything that's legit or credible anyway. You'll see a lot of people shilling courses. That's completely different. But the education system is lagging behind. I think obviously we need to have programs in schools, even if they're kind of, just very, very low rent at the moment. We still need to be teaching kids about this. They need to be learning about systems, and they need to learn about them from an early age. And I think if we don't teach them these systems, it's going to be a detriment to their ability to find work when they're older. Just as the lack of financial education in our schools across the UK at the moment and for the last 30, 40, 50 years has now led to massive problems with people being able to manage their money properly and also get the most of their money. And it's a very backward system that we operate here. We are very slow to adapt. So how can you adapt yourself? Well, for a start, you can upskill into tech, creativity and trades, build yourself side hustles, and embrace a state of lifelong learning. I'm 48 years old, and my education, for a time, while I was partying and getting smashed every weekend, my education finished at around, I think, 19, 20 years old. And it probably stayed there until I was about 25, 26, something like that. So for a good 6 or 7 years, I was in like a no man's land of just getting drunk and partying. And I really don't regret it. I had the best times. But, and this is a big but, since 26, 27, I have never stopped learning. I've always been either learning a language, trying to learn new skills. Obviously, I was around before the internet. I've been around during its rise, and I'm still around now it's here. So I do believe in constantly leveling up, constantly bringing something new to your own table that can make you more desirable to a future employer, or just add value to the job that you're currently in. And also, I find the whole learning process just generally interesting. So there's that as well. And then there's the impact that all of this can have largely on your mental health. So as people upskill into tech roles, they are going to be able to build side hustles. They're going to be able to use AI to propel themselves into a state where they perhaps decrease the stress and anxiety in those jobs. Maybe it would decrease social division because you're able to do something that can perhaps bring people a bit together. It's all very new. And because it's very new, maybe we need people to hold our hands a little bit through the process of learning these new skills. But there you go. Anyway, I wax lyrical. What are your thoughts on this? Drop it in the comments. Let me know. Where do you see the UK particularly going with the future of work in a post-AI world? Really keen to find out. YouTube's going to pop another video there. I'm going to go off and consider changing my t-shirt because I do feel absolutely disgusting. And yeah, like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, all that jazz. More tomorrow. Goldman, peace out.